guys. Okay, so we are in my bathroom again, obviously. And this video is going to be a whole lot of TMI. Whole lot, because this video is on cloth menstrual pads and menstrual cups. So you're about to hear a whole lot of details and actually see a little bit of blood. So if you are not ready for that, do not watch this video. So keep that in mind before you continue. Now, one of the reasons I decided to switch to cloth menstrual pads, much like why I'm trying the family cloth, is because I already cloth diaper. I'm already washing stuff, so why not? Also, the pads that I got are charcoal bamboo, something that from doing cloth diapering, I know is something that it stays really, really dry, no matter how wet it is, and it's very, very absorbent. My son does great in his cloth and his charcoal bamboo cloth diapers, so I figured, why not give it a try, see if it's more comfortable. Another big thing for me was hearing that with cloth menstrual pads, there's no smell. Now, you guys know what I'm talking about. Every month, you know, there's that nasty, nasty period smell. Apparently, that is caused by the disposable products. And I was kind of iffy on that until I tried this stuff. And guess what? No smell. It's fantastic. The other big perk, like I said, with charcoal bamboo, it stays very, very dry. And again, there's something that I'm like, I bleed a lot. Let's see how it goes. And sure enough, I stayed really dry, even on my heavy days. And I'm really heavy my first 1 to 3, sometimes 4th day. And my first day sometimes kind of light, sometimes not so much. But let's get a view real quick of the back of my toilet. This little basket here is where I keep my menstrual pads. If you watch my family cloth video, you know what this is. And then here is my menstrual cup. Now, I do not have a Diva cup. I didn't want to spend the money on that. The cup I have is an off-brand that is like a $10 cup, and I will put a link below because it is a really cheap way for you to test and see if you like menstrual cups before putting forward the money to get something like a Diva cup, which is the more expensive brand. Now, I also have this wet bag here that I put my pads in when they are dirty until they can be washed. I also have a diaper sprayer. Now this is mostly for my son's diapers, but I do find it useful with my menstrual pads. Just because you do not have to, please keep that in mind, you do not have to rinse your pads after use. But if you want to avoid staining and stuff like that, and if you really want to make sure that your washing machine is going to get all that blood out, it is nice to rinse them out. But you do not have to. That's not a have to. Now, let me show you what my couple of different pads look like. Now, first off, most of them can snap up all nice and folded like this. This is a Serenity bamboo pad, and I'm not going to recommend these. They are a regular absorbency pad. Unfortunately, they leak around the seams. So unless it's a really, really light day, I generally don't wear these. Man, snap it real quick, and you can see how big it is. Now, this black fabric is the charcoal bamboo, and that's the absorbent part that stays dry. This is minky. I don't know why. But it's got pull on it, which is the same thing as a cloth diaper, and it stays nice and dry down there because that is the waterproofing part. Now, this is the other pad I have. It's a bit longer. If you want to see them side by side. It's a bit longer. This is an overnight pad that I got. Now, the way that they work is when you put them on, you just snap the snaps on the underside of your underwear. Now, some women do have an issue with the cloth pads sliding. To avoid this, make sure that you're wearing tight underwear, tight enough pants. If you're wearing clothes that are loose, then they are going to move on you. If you're not wearing loose clothing, then they should stay just fine, especially once they actually start getting a decent amount of blood in them because they get kind of heavy and they'll stay in place. Now, for that bit of blood I told you about, because I'm going to show you something. I just changed my pad. Now, the last time I changed my pad, I changed my morning pad at about 11 o'clock. I have not changed my pad since. And right now, it's almost 8 o'clock my time. This is my pad after over 8 hours. Do you see a lot of blood? Let me get into more light here. You don't see a ton of blood. You can barely see red on this because it is so absorbed. It's barely there. You can see some red around the edges. That's not absorbency. That is just, you know, dry blood rubbing off. I've felt dry the whole time I'm wearing it, and that's the amazing thing. And now I do use the menstrual cup, and mine's a little wet because I just washed it. And I actually can't keep this in super well because I've not done enough Kegels. And it is your vaginal muscles that keep these things in. Now, where was I going? Oh yeah, using them in tandem, this isn't keeping all of the blood in there like it's supposed to because I don't have a good enough, it's not staying in on its own like it's supposed to because of my vaginal muscles not being strong enough, but it still does catch blood. So when you have those gushes, even though the menstrual pad will catch it all and it will absorb it all quickly, this makes you feel a little bit more secure. Now, I'm actually going to be doing a bit of a separate thing that I'm going to attach to this. It's going to be either an all... no, I'm going to do a separate video. I'll do a separate video that is going to be more details on the menstrual cup. This one I'm mostly focusing on the charcoal menstrual pad. Now, like I said, I feel so dry using them, and typically every period I have at least one night where I bleed through my pad and I'm doing that weird waddle to the bathroom trying to get there without enough blood falling and not being soaked to my pad that I have it running down my leg. That happens at least once a period. I've not had that happen since I started doing this. I actually just started my period yesterday, and this is the second period I've had since I started doing this. And, you know, like I said, you know, if you want to rinse out your pads, you can, you don't have to. In that case, you're going to touch your blood. But once you realize there's not a smell and that it's just like normal blood, it's really not that skeezy. It's really not that gross. It's really not. I know that might sound weird to hear, but it's really not that gross. So if you want to rinse them, I mean, it's fine. There's no smell, nothing. It's just like rinsing, like if you got blood on some clothing. It's really no different. But, washing them, I throw mine in with my son's diapers, but if I need to wash them, because you're supposed to wash them like every other day-ish, I throw them in with towels. Because when you rinse them and get more of the blood out, then, you know, you can throw them in with clothes and stuff too, and you'll be fine. Oh, I almost forgot. Other ways to rinse them, like I said, I use my diaper sprayer, and I spray them off in the toilet and then squeeze them until the water's mostly clear-ish. Other ways that people have suggested you could do it is you can always throw the pad in with you when you're taking a shower. Just put it on the shower floor and, you know, your water will rinse it pretty well or well enough. But washing them, I just wash them with towels or with my son's diapers. If I absolutely have to, I will wash them with clothes because I do rinse them out and I feel comfortable doing so. Now, when you're out in public, you can get a little wet bag, or what's also known as a Duchess bag, which is, again, lined with the same pole that the pads are. And it's waterproof, and you can put the dirty pad in there, and when you get home, you can do what you need to with it. So it's easy to do this in public, too. Perfectly easy, and like I said, you can wear some of the, depending on how heavy your flow is, you can go forever. I know my last period, I actually, on like the 4th or 5th day of my period, I put on a pad at night, and I didn't change my pad again until like 4 hours before I went to bed the next day. So these things absorb a lot and they are just so comfortable. I sometimes forget I'm on my period because of how ridiculously comfortable it is, because it just feels like it's part of my underwear. There's no rubbing, there's no chafing, it absorbs everything, you feel dry. It's absolutely amazing. And some pads are going to run you kind of expensive, but I know that the ones with the birds, my overnight pads, I spent like $22 and I got 5 of them. Totally worth it when you think about the fact that every period you spend at least $5 on a box of pads and you're going to use most of those pads. So in 4 months, approximately, those pads have paid off. They've paid themselves off because you can keep using them over and over and over again, and it's fantastic. So I highly recommend the cloth menstrual pads, and I'll do another video on the menstrual cup and maybe include more information on the cloth menstrual pads, or mama cloth as they're sometimes called. And so you'll probably want to watch both of these videos to get the full information on both of them. For now, though, that's all I have, other than, of course, I do have to throw in the recommendation that with the family cloth video, if you don't want to do family cloth all the time, I highly suggest it during your period, because I will use half a roll of freaking toilet paper on my vagina because of how much blood there is. And with the family cloth, using the cloth toilet paper, I use 2 wipes and I'm good. I'm clean and it's nice. It feels great, especially if you get them wet. Shoot. And just throw them into the wash with your pads. You're washing them anyways. Why not wash something else that's a little bloody? Anyway, that's officially it. And I will do the video on the menstrual cup here soon. Bye-bye.